from the station that's on your side. Breaking news.
Breaking news right off the top of the hour for you. This is a confirmed deadly shooting on Old Friar Road in Aiken County this afternoon. That's near the Aiken Municipal Airport. We do have a crew on the way to that scene as we speak. We're also working on more details on this case. We'll update you right here on air and online at wrdw.com as soon as we have more information. Also, more breaking news. A Richmond County deputy jailer facing charges this evening. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says it was made aware of a possible misconduct at the Charles B. Webster Detention Center involving a female inside an interview room. Joseph Clark is charged with criminal attempt, aggravated sodomy, false imprisonment, sexual battery, and violation of oath of an officer.
As you're heading out the door this evening, we've stayed on the drier side a good majority of the day. Some of our southern counties picked up some scattered showers earlier this morning, but with that cloud cover that's remained in place, temperatures have stayed into the mid-upper 70s and a few isolated 80s on the map. 81 degrees in Barnwell, it's 82 in Washington. A closer look at the Augusta Metro shows those temps still in those upper 70s. It's 79 inside of Bobby Jones, slightly cooler in North Augusta, and lower 80s from the Georgia Welcome Center and I-20 down through about the Gracewood, Fort Gordon area. A lot of that storm activity is still off to our south, so southern sections of Georgia and going through Alabama have just seen nonstop rain and severe weather over the last 24 hours. For us locally, we've stayed dry in the CS area. We picked up an isolated sprinkle here or there. I think this is a couple errors with the radar itself, though. We do have some thunderstorm activity to the north as you go north of I-85 and just outside of Greenville. One severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. These are going to continue to push off toward the south as we go through this evening. So there is that low-level isolated risk for some of those thunderstorms to become a little bit stronger. So a marginal level 1 severe threat is in effect as we go through the rest of this evening. Again, the key word there is going to be isolated, so those storms not going to be for everyone. Temperature-wise, we're going to fall back down into the low 70s, getting closer to 9 o'clock tonight, still with those clouds, and then the chance for rain will start to go back up as we get closer to about 10 and 11 o'clock this evening. Much more on the forecast coming up in just a few minutes, but first, we'll take a look at First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
I will take you outside right over our station here at Riverwatch and I-20, exit 200. Traffic-wise, moving pretty nicely on the interstate here at 5 o'clock. And we'll go outside over Grovetown and I-20, where Lewiston Road, everything looks to be in pretty good shape. Not too much backup there on the highway right now, so everything looks to be pretty good there. We'll see if our other camera's working out. We got the pinwheel of death going on right now, so no look over Walton Way right now, but Aiken County seeing some clouds out there. Much more on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. We'll back to you.
Thanks, Anthony. We're following an accident right now in Aiken along University Parkway. Dispatchers say that the call came in just after 2 this afternoon for a crash involving a lawnmower and a vehicle. We're told a plumbing truck hit the back of a tractor, which was mowing the side of University Parkway, causing it to flip over, and that pinned the driver underneath of the tractor. Traffic is back to normal now, and the tractor driver was taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. We'll update you on air and on our web at wrdw.com when we get the latest in this crash. Well, several monuments in Augusta are in disarray after a string of possible vandalism. It's causing frustration and costing organizations money. One of those monuments belongs to the Masonic Lodge. You can see it right here behind me now. There's supposed to be a Bible on the top. It was there last week and now it's gone. Our News 12 Hallie Turner spoke to the Masonic Lodge, who says that they're frustrated and hurt about what's going on.
If you're out on a walk in downtown Augusta, you'll notice there are several monuments that line Green Street, ones that hold meaning, serving as a purpose to honor those who've gone before them. And now it looks like they've been vandalized, impacting more than just the ones who put them there.
In the last week, 2 monuments on Green Street and one on Broad Street have been torn up. The Sheriff's Office says they have received 1 report for vandalism, but they don't have the report ready for us yet. The original Payne College founding sign can now be seen resting on the ground instead of the post it was once on. Just around the corner on Green Street, it gets worse. The Spanish-American War bronze emblem is bending away from the cement monument it was once screwed into. And if you go a bit further down the street, you'll find the Masonic Lodge monument is missing a bronze open-faced Bible. A leader with the Masonic Lodge says the vandalism doesn't just hurt the monument, it hurts the community.
We're getting ready to give out 14 $1,000 scholarships to young people going to college and professional institutions.
But now that this emblem's been stolen.
It's going to cost us a couple of scholarships for next year.
And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we take a deeper look at how defacing these monuments impacts the community and the way neighbors view Augusta.
Thanks for that update there, Hallie. New this afternoon, a Delta Sky West flight from Augusta to Atlanta ending before it even began because of a smoky odor. Delta officials say it happened yesterday at Augusta Regional Airport. They say because of weather conditions, the passengers aboard were kept on the plane for about an hour and a half while the ground team coordinated what to do. No word yet on what caused this odor, but Delta says all the passengers were put onto other flights. The mother accused of abandoning her newborn baby in the woods denied bond yet again. It was in June of 2019 that a family found a baby India wrapped in a plastic bag with her umbilical cord still attached. Her mother went unknown for nearly 4 years, but last month, 40-year-old Karima Jawani was connected to baby India through DNA testing. She now faces several charges, including attempted murder. Her lawyers argue Jawani is mentally ill, something both sides are still arguing over.
I think that it takes into account a lot of the really obvious issues that deal with mental health.
At this time, there is no evidence to suggest that the defendant was suffering from any kind of psychosis and postpartum depression.
Baby India recently celebrated her 4th birthday. Her identity is being kept a secret, but she is described as happy and healthy. Are rideshare apps like Uber and Lyft safe? That's what Senator John Ossoff and several others are asking as they send letters to the heads of those companies about their safety. They're demanding answers by the 26th. Now, the letters went out just after Uber announced teenagers 13 to 17 are now allowed to ride without an adult with them. Gigi's House is an organization that helps sex trafficking survivors. Now, they say lowering the age could be dangerous for kids.
Ability to be able to get in an Uber at such a young age without a grown adult just allows for the trafficker to sell them over and over and over again.
Crawford also says holding rideshare companies accountable is important, and we will continue to follow this story and let you know when Uber and Lyft respond. More breaking news this afternoon and some good news here. The mother of the 13-year-old shot at the Aiken Walmart last week, now out of the hospital. Ashley Reichert's mother saying that earlier this afternoon that they are finally being released from the hospital. They said that earlier on Facebook. We have much more coverage on this case coming up later in the next half hour for you. Well, today, state leaders announcing that they're taking a bold, aggressive, and new approach to treating South Carolinians' growing mental health needs. They say this project will serve as a model for communities throughout the state. Our State House reporter, Mary Green, has the details from Florence, where the pilot for this initiative will be.
In the coming months, the building behind me here in downtown Florence will be torn down to make way for a regional behavioral health hub that'll be the first of its kind in South Carolina.
This is the future of what's coming to South Carolina. This is the model of care that we're going to set up regionally throughout the state, and we're going to have a vibrant and successful behavioral health system.
The project announced Thursday is a unique public-private partnership between the South Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Mental Health, MUSC, McLeod Health, Francis Marion University, and Hope Health. The facility will offer a combination of triage, crisis stabilization, telehealth, outpatient, and inpatient services, a new model in South Carolina. Construction is slated to begin in 2024, with the facility opening 2 years after that to serve the PD. State leaders say they'll be looking at what works here to use this as a model for future behavioral health hubs in other regions of South Carolina.
We'd like to get some of these models learning from quick wins, quick learning that we're going to experience when we bring this facility up. I'm hoping in the next couple of years we start getting some replication in other areas.
Up to $100 million in state funding has been set aside for this facility, along with another $5 million from the city of Florence. Reporting in Florence, I'm Mary Green.
And that facility will be named in honor of the late Florence County Senator Hugh Leatherman. He chaired the Senate's powerful budget writing committee and advocated for the facility's creation at the State House. The nearly $14 billion South Carolina budget is almost finished after passing yesterday in both the House and the Senate. Now, the next step is for the budget to go before Governor McMaster, who is expected to veto individual items in the budget before signing it into law. Today, McMaster says that he and his team are at work going through the budget.
We're going through it with a fine-tooth comb. There will, I believe, be some vetoes, but we work very closely with the House and the Senate, as well as the agencies, as well as public groups and people, businesses, to see how to best spend the money we have.
And once he approves the budget, it will take effect July 1st. Another rabid raccoon spotted in the CSRA, this time in McDuffie County near Stagecoach Road. That's the 5th case in a little over a month here. Here's a map of the previous 4 raccoons spotted around Columbia County within the past 6 weeks. Now, health officials warn the summer is peak season for rabies because the warmer weather leads to more interactions between animals and humans. And make sure to keep your animals up to date on all of their vaccines and do not interact with any of these wild animals. Well, across South Carolina, boxes, bags, and envelopes with evidence are waiting to be tested. A statewide system to track the location of these items for sexual assault kits was supposed to be up and running a year ago, but it's not there yet. In 2021, SLED estimated the program would cost $150,000. They are working with healthcare technology companies to launch the tracking system, which as of January was in the development phase. The next status for the program is due to the governor, the House and Senate Judiciary Committees by the end of July. Well, severe weather destroying homes and potentially businesses. Coming up, how farmers are adjusting as storms sweep through the area. Anthony?
All right, well, as you're heading out the door this evening, we're going to have that potential for a few isolated thunderstorms a little bit later on tonight, but a drier outlook in store for our Friday and Saturday, and temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer as well. We'll break down the full forecast when we come back.
Time and Tex American-made products are ISO certified and recognized by the International Code Council. Don't do it twice. Do it right. Rely on Ramjet.
The storms that swept through much of the southeast left some widespread damage in their wake. You can see that damage right here on your screen. Thankfully, the river region avoided the worst of it, but man, multiple trees were destroyed in Calhoun County, Georgia, which is in the northwestern part of the Peach State. Wow, look at that damage there, Anthony.
Yeah, it's
incredible to see.
It is very incredible to see. We also had a lot of severe damage in some of the southern half of the state as well. You go to places south of Columbus and near the Albany area too. They had a good bit of thunderstorm activity, both a lot of different types of icons on the map here. We have one tornado icon, lots of hail reports, damage to trees, as well as some high rain totals, and even some hail at that too. So a lot of reports there, and they're still seeing a lot of rain still going on. Now, yesterday we did have a few damage reports in Screven County, and there was a funnel cloud reported just outside of Sylvania, and we did get one tornado to form just outside of the CSRA that continued to get closer to I-95. That was actually confirmed to be an EF1 tornado. There you can see all of those storms still off to our south, but you get closer to the CSRA. We've had one little area of development. All these showers and storms will eventually sink off to the southeast as we go through the next couple of hours. We'll take a closer look at some of those. Just outside of Greenville, a severe thunderstorm warning there. This one's likely to continue to get closer to Greenwood, and then maybe an issue for Saluda County a little bit later on this evening. But as you can see, a few more thunderstorms are starting to pop up, so all of this is expected to move through our area a little bit later on this evening. But any plans over the next hour and a half, 2 hours, we're going to stay on the drier side there. It's not until we get closer to about 9 o'clock or so where the rain chances really start to go up for us. So any plans over the next couple of hours, you're going to be in good shape there. Just make sure you bring that umbrella with you if you're not going to be going back to your house later on tonight. 79 degrees, the current temperature here in Augusta, feeling more like the low 80s, so still some sticky air out there. Those temps will fall back down into the 60s as we get closer to 10 and 11 o'clock this evening. Here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. So here come all of those thunderstorms moving through the CSRA, getting closer to 8, 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, it's an issue for us here in Augusta. A few isolated scattered storms not going to be ruled out. And then we're going to be on the drier side going through Friday morning as well as Friday afternoon. Now, we do have that marginal risk for a few of those thunderstorms to become severe, like what we saw just outside of Greenville. But in general, the risk will be going down as we get past midnight and as we go through tomorrow morning. Going to be on the drier side. The dry weather lasts through the afternoon, and I'm thinking a good majority of our Saturday will also be on the drier side. It's going to be a little bit warmer. Seasonal highs expected with afternoon temperatures closer to that 90-degree point. Midday tomorrow, 82, then the high right around 90. So the pool forecast is going to feel pretty nice out there. It's going to feel more like summer. Those temps getting closer to 90 degrees there, and then as we're going through the upcoming weekend for Father's Day, we'll notice those temps 88 on both of those days, a little bit warmer probably on Sunday. That 40% for some late storms, that's really going to be after sunset. So we're going to keep an eye on the showers there. The storm chances will really start to go up as we get closer to both Monday and Tuesday. Then as we get through most of next week, we're going to actually keep with those high rain chances. Now, this is just one model run right now between the American and European models, so we could be talking about some pretty decent rainfall going through a good majority of next week. So we'll keep you posted there, but dry starting tomorrow all the way through Sunday.
Thanks, Anthony. The severe weather sweeping across the southeast today and yesterday, leaving trees and power lines down and some homes torn to shreds. Meanwhile, farmers are working to keep their crops protected and their profits up. Dale Kennedy explains.
You can see cotton coming up out of the ground at Bullock and all over southeast Georgia. Talk to folks in agriculture, and they say they've seen consistent, steady rains throughout so far the planting season. But what they need right here in the middle of June might be the last thing you expect to hear. Growers at Bullock have more than 40,000 acres of cotton planted, as well as at least 20,000 acres of peanuts and a few thousand acres of corn. Bill Tyson from the University of Georgia Extension Service says they're seeing adequate rain so far to sustain plants and let growers turn off their irrigation systems for now. Right now, they need the temperatures to climb.
It's bad to say this in June, but we need warm weather. The cool nights in May and even into June, that's kind of got the crop set back a little bit.
He says the sunshine and warmth will help plants begin to grow at a faster rate, and that growth will make the rainfall even more critical.
And you know, we've had this conversation before, we're never 2 weeks away from a drought.
He says it's too soon to predict whether crops will be good this year, but they can't have a good end to the season without a good beginning. He says cotton, peanuts, corn, and soybeans all have months and months to go, and this is a marathon, not a sprint, and they need that rain and the sunshine to get them through. In Bullock County, Dale Kennedy, WTOC News.
All right, an unexpected and uninvited guest making an appearance in one Georgia family's home. We'll have that story for you just ahead. Stick with us.
First Alert Radar, only the finest in men's clothing.
We're following breaking news out of Aiken, where authorities are now confirming that one person is in custody following a deadly shooting on Friar Road in Aiken County. That's near the Aiken Municipal Airport. You can see deputies here on scene, some crime scene tape blocking off that road there, but we're working to learn more in what led up to the shooting this afternoon and the victim's identity here. This is the third shooting in Aiken County just this week and the second deadly shooting in just 2 days. The other happening Tuesday on Weston Street, and a 24-year-old male was killed in that shooting. That investigation is still ongoing, and we're working to get updates in all three of these cases. We will continue to monitor this one here out on Friar Road in Aiken County. You can see the amount of deputies and investigators still on scene. We'll keep you updated again on air and on our website, wrdw.com. Also, just into the newsroom this afternoon, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office confirming a man originally wanted for questioning in a shooting, now facing charges. Deputies say Jafir Elliott was booked into jail yesterday in connection with the shooting on Skinner Mill Road. Now, deputies say the shooting happened on May 15th, just before 7 p.m. They also say that Elliott and another person carjacked the victim before shots were fired. Elliott is charged with aggravated assault, non-family gun, and carjacking. Anthony?
All right, well, as you're heading out the door this evening, right now we have dry conditions in the CSRA, but we're keeping an eye on a line of storms just to our north near Greenville and I-85. These are going to be sinking south as we go through this evening, and the storm chances will be going up for us. We'll talk more about these storms coming up right after the break. But first, first, we want to take a look at the sunshade. Today,
Lionel Smith, limited to only the finest in men's clothing.
We're following breaking news out of Aiken, where authorities are now confirming that one person is in custody following a deadly shooting on Friar Road in Aiken County. That's near the Aiken Municipal Airport. You can see deputies here on scene, some crime scene tape blocking off that road there, but we're working to learn more and what led up to the shooting this afternoon and the victim's identity here. This is the third shooting in Aiken County just this week and the second deadly shooting in just 2 days. The other happening Tuesday on Weston Street, and a 24-year-old male was killed in that shooting. That investigation is still ongoing, and we're working to get updates in all three of these cases. We will continue to monitor this one here out on Friar Road in Aiken County. You can see the amount of deputies and investigators still on scene. We'll keep you updated again on air and on our website, wrdw.com. Also, just into the newsroom this afternoon, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office confirming a man originally wanted for questioning in a shooting now facing charges. Deputies say Jafir Elliott was booked into jail yesterday in connection with the shooting on Skinner Mill Road. Now, deputies say the shooting happened on May 15th, just before 7 p.m. They also say that Elliott and another person carjacked the victim before shots were fired. Elliott is charged with aggravated assault, non-family gun, and carjacking. Anthony?
All right, well, as you're heading out the door this evening, right now we have dry conditions in the CSRA, but we're keeping an eye on a line of storms just to our north near Greenville and I-85. These are going to be sinking south as we go through this evening, and the storm chances will be going up for us. We'll talk more about these storms coming up right after the break. But first, we want to take a look at the sunshade. Today's sunshade winner is Gary Cates from Graniteville, South Carolina. If you want to enter, you can head to our website, wrdw.com, go to the contact section, and enter right in on our website. We'll be right back.
Helping people is simple. Money that you deserve.
All right, well, here's a look at radar right now where we do have some scattered showers off to our south. Not too much in the way here in Augusta, but we do have some more storms further off to the north, especially northern sections of Georgia and the upstate of South Carolina. We'll zoom in on these guys a little bit more, and we can see some of these guys really starting to pop up along the interstate. One severe thunderstorm warning in effect just outside of Greenville. All of this is going to continue to push off to the south as we continue on through tonight. So any plans between now and about 7 o'clock, we're going to stay on the drier side with a few storms starting to bubble up after 7, and then it looks like the heaviest of that shower activity will move into the CSRA by 8, 9 o'clock, getting to the Augusta area a little bit later on this evening. Then we'll dry things up as we go through the day tomorrow, and we're expecting a nice dry but warmer Friday for us, and those temperatures actually being able to make it into the lower 90s. So finally seeing some seasonal temperatures for this time of year. 90 on Friday, an isolated storm both Friday and Saturday, not going to be ruled out there just because it's going to be a little bit sticky. So there will be some humidity out there. 91 to 93 between Saturday and Sunday. Much of Sunday for Father's Day is dry. We'll track some storms Sunday night and in through Monday with a lot more rain activity for next week.